This episode is brought to you by Barefoot Dreams. I think it's legal that I could like sort of sing the Taylor Swift lick from her Dreams song for that, but just enough where like they're not going to sue us. Maybe they will. No, they won't. I'm kidding, guys. Barefoot Dreams is our sponsor this season, and I love everything they make. Cozy chic fabric, some of the comfiest things I've ever felt. Also, I want to tell you guys, they make great gifts. Like you want to get a nice blanket for your wife, your daughter, your friend, your buddy, whatever. Like I love, now that I have this blanket, I sleep with this. Like my wife has one, I have one. We snuggle up with our own individual cozy chic Barefoot Dreams blankets. They're so unbelievably comfortable. They make so many good products. They got a great integration with Disney and the Team USA and so many like cool partnerships like with brands that make some of their clothing really cool. I love everything about them, and I'm so grateful they're a part of this season. And because you're here with this show, you can get 15% off by putting in the promo code POPUP15. So make sure to do the promo code and check them out at barefootdreams.com.
If I made what I make now to $100 million, I say to her all the time, like, I'd still be making you this iced latte. We'd still be watching on the couch, watching The Price is Right. Exactly. What would change? It'd be a fancier couch?
Yeah.
What the hell? What are we doing?
Yes, hello. Welcome back to the Pop-Up with Paul and Friends. Guys, thanks for coming back. You're here, subscribing, doing whatever you're doing to watch. I appreciate it. I also appreciate this business and being an interviewer and a comedian and meeting people. This next guest is a real treat because I was a fan of his, and this is true. This is not some like talking head like, I love this guy before. Didn't know him personally, loved his videos, knew of his videos for years. Used to watch him and laugh and giggle at him late at night alone. And now we're sort of alone in the garage studio. Put your hands together for the very funny stand-up comedian, video maker extraordinaire, Eric D'Alessandro, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Stop.
Wow, that's too much.
I try to be your hype man.
That was great. Yeah, thank you so much.
You know that is true. Like
really?
You're a certain internet comedian that you popped up early on. Like, you've been doing this stuff for a long time.
I've been doing it longer than anyone probably realizes.
Yeah.
I should have been Mr. Beast by now. But I'm not smart enough to see where YouTube was going.
Yeah.
And that's my story.
If you were Mr. Beast but Eric, what would you give away? Like, what would be the thing you give away the most?
Good question.
In my mind, it's like pizza, like Staten Island pizzas. You know?
Probably fashion advice to men.
Yeah, dude.
As I look like I am helping someone move.
I feel like this is very not like you, this look today.
Yeah, I actually have a very... my look today in the airport was very Denzel, Robin Williams at the airport in like 1992. I have this big blazer, but it was hot. I looked like a complete idiot.
Nice.
If you didn't know what I was going for. But what do you think? My wife's over here. I pulled it off, right?
You pulled.
I think
you pull it off, dude. And I also respect, like, I always wear the blazer on stage. I like show business and the old school nature.
Oh man,
you always look sharp in your videos too, though. You're a handsome Italian man. You have that class with your stuff that's not always on the internet with these people.
Yeah, that's a big thing with me and why I'm probably gonna cut my hair soon because I want to wear a suit all of the time.
You should.
But it look I don't love it with the long hair. It doesn't really. Yeah, it looks like Triple H or something. I don't pull it off.
What about Furio, dude, from the Italians? From
down?
Sopranos,
No, hell no.
Furio,
when he wore it down. No, some people they're not so happy for Columbus. No, I don't know. But yeah, thank you so much. I try to. I love clothes. I've been getting called gay my entire life, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I love that about old showbiz. And then you try to class it up, but then you look in the crowd and this guy's wearing flip-flops.
I know.
Nobody else cares.
I know. Isn't it funny, though? Because I get the same thing. I've worn suits for a long time doing this job, doing stand-up. Italian men, like, we are kind... Like, and you go to Italy, like if you didn't know that was what the standard is, like, it looks gay. Like, it's too proper. We're too, like, manicured.
Do you know Matteo Lane?
Yeah.
Matteo Lane, good friend of mine, incredible stand-up comedian. He always jokes that, like, when he goes to Italy, he's like the straight guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's just everyone's well-groomed, fit. They know how to dress. They know how to cook. Yeah. They know how to, like, they know how to do maybe what's called a woman role here in America
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Like they know how to cook or take care of kids or something. So like,
Where do we go wrong in America, heterosexual men, where we just stopped grooming I mean, you and I are in touch with this. Look at us. We're groomed men.
man, now I'm upset. I should have wore something.
Nah, you look sharp.
nicer.
Don't worry.
This is a vintage T-shirt though.
You look like you moved back to Staten Island. You know?
There you go. What the hell were we saying?
When do we go wrong? Where we
yeah.
stopped wearing suits. We stopped caring about this stuff. Why?
Yeah, that's it. I don't know, man. I think that suits in general are dying. Like I hate when I see. I got no shade for Seth Meyers, but I don't like that he doesn't wear a suit.
No, me neither.
Why doesn't he wear a tie? Just 1 degree less,
Right.
and now it's just before you know it, it's gonna be.
We're
I
losing
don't know,
the
man.
class.
And the older I get, I mean, when I was a little kid, I literally would go through like this closet in my mom's house, and I would just put on like suit jackets. I loved suits,
Yeah.
and I always thought I'd be like when I was older, I'm always gonna wear them. But then like, where are we going?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wear a suit and go to TJ Maxx.
Dude, I used to fly in a suit
Really?
because I thought I wanted to be that guy like when I was younger, like 20s.
I get it. It's just not. I feel the same way about like a leather bag.
Yeah.
But it's just so annoying sitting there like this.
I know.
You
It's
have
not
to keep
comfy.
readjusting. It's super heavy. It's inconvenient. It's bulky.
Dude.
It's not practical. I think we've become Sebastian once said,
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yes.
You're comfortable. It's kind of that
It's
vibe.
that. We're too
comfortable.
We're
Too
too
convenient.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Everything in America, we just want it comfy, easy. You know, the suits are boxy. They feel tight.
They have like a breathable material. Not interested in it. You know?
I actually just bought one as a dad. I bought a stretchy suit. Like honestly, dude, no, it's a game changer.
I know it is, but you
Because
see, you're part of the problem.
Slippery slope, dude.
There you go. Exactly. Before you know it, you're wearing Crocs, and that's it.
I do in the yard. I do.
Do you have Crocs?
You know, I did with Crocs. They had make Croc material boat shoes. There's a company. What's that? Sperry.
Oh God.
And I literally bought them and cut the backs off. So I have like Italian proper Crocs.
Oh,
They look
my
nicer
God.
than the round Croc. It's like a
I
boat.
get it.
It's like a golf shoe.
Don't get me wrong. I get it. I get convenience, but I just promised myself that I'm never gonna do it.
But weren't you raised from Staten Island
Hmm.
where you work hard for things and you also like things are important and you just can't be lazy and comfortable all the time? You know what I mean?
That what's funny is that sentiment is true, but my parents look homeless. There is no. I mean, I think that's why I'm so into clothing is because my parents could not care any less.
So your dad was part of this problem we're talking about.
Yeah, my dad's a little Irish.
Oh, well, that's
And
why
it's something
maybe.
I don't like to talk about, but that's why. And he's got a crazy temper, and he's one of the funniest people ever. Not trying to be funny. When he'd scream at us as kids, we would just sit there and laugh at him. But yeah, he's a horrific dresser. My mom. One time, my brother went to some place with her. He needed her to go somewhere. And he sent us a picture in the group chat. She was wearing like my dad's shoes, my brother's hoodie. I'm like, Mom, people know me. You can't look like this anymore. Like, so that maybe that's why I'm so into that stuff.
That's
'cause
interesting.
They are not. I mean, my mother's never bought herself clothes.
Wow.
She just gets hand me downs from her sisters, or like I buy her stuff for Mother's Day or something.
Yeah.
But like she's like not at all into that stuff. So when I want clothes as a kid, she would just be like, "Huh?
Yeah.
I'm not into this stuff. Why are you?"
It's two lanes, the Italian women. It's like the Carmela Soprano, proper
Yeah.
mom wife, where it's like comfy pajamas.
Yeah,
It's
the Nona
Dunkin'
in like
Donuts.
a nightgown.
Yeah, nightgown, whatever. I'm comfy. I'm a mom. It's it forever, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man.
And for us, I like that you're in touch with the old school Italian side. I will tell you two things. I'm a little Irish, so you didn't know that. So we can connect on the
thank
fact
God.
that
We can never be
we're
made.
closeted Irish. We're closeted. We don't tell everybody.
Yeah, we can't be in the mafia.
We can't. My liver, my exits.
Yeah.
Weird way to say it. Sounds like shit. But that's true. I'm a little Irish, but also I always wear a blazer on the show. And for some reason today, because I was out last night, I'm like wearing the non-blazer. So this kind of fits for
You
us.
got a
We're both-
Nautilus thing happening a
both
little bit.
sort of, getting a little comfortable.
Yeah, I should have
today.
worn my jacket. I apologize.
No, it's too hot in here for the jacket, dude. Don't
yeah,
worry.
it was hot in the airport.
It's hot, dude. Welcome to town, by the way. You just got here.
Yes.
You're here for Netflix is a Joke. Congrats on your show.
Thank you so much.
You lived here. You're
lived
now back
here.
in Staten Island. You're a very Staten Island guy, but you're like not cliche Staten Island. You're like a perfect blend to me of Staten Island. Like you represent it, but I don't want to fight you. You know what I mean? Like there's
Oh,
two
yeah.
things. That's good.
You don't want to fight me, bro.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. Now I do.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's a gift and a curse because I feel like a lot of people want that from me, But yeah, growing up there, the reason why my comedy was tailored the way it was is because I saw what America saw. When Jersey Shore blew up and everybody was like, are these real people? They were so enamored. I was like, that's always how I viewed Staten Island. So like at a young age, I was like, what? How does no one like my family is very stereotypical in a lot of ways, I'm sure. If you're not from New York, you would think that they're very Italian. But if you're from New York and you hang out with us, you're like, the D'Alessandros aren't really they're not like the D'Agostinos and the the Marinos. We're very like different. I don't know. Like I would always call it like there's the north of Staten Island and the south of Staten Island. We're the north, where like I had all different kind of friends growing up, and then all my friends in the south are just Italian. Mm-hmm. They're just gold chains, even though I have gold chains. They're just like their communions. They hire Elvis Presley to perform at them, and like I always was enamored by it. So I like to think that I have it with me, but I don't. It's a gift and a curse. I don't want people to. Like I get the biggest backhanded compliment, which I always like cringe at after shows. And I'm grateful to people, but they're like, "I really enjoyed your show," and I'm from Staten Island, so I get it. As if if you're not from Staten Island, you can't get it, and I'm not funny. So I hate that, but
it's universal. It's New York, also. It's universal. You guys get a bad rep, obviously.
Yeah,
but so does Jersey as well, where I'm from. Like, there should be no shame in where you're from, though. It's made you who you are.
Of it. Yeah, of course.
It made you who you are. And it's a good thing that made you who you are. I also like that you had a lens on like the craziness of it too.
For sure.
That formed your comedy. That's awesome because you saw like this is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I actually just thought of the other day. I made fun of this. My brother is 7 years older than me, and so he would always bring me around his friends. I'd say funny shit. He would like tell me to say a curse or whatever, and the girls always laughed. I was like, "Oh, girls like me." and I remember a girl in his class. Her mother would always say to get in the car to their whatever their names were, like get in the car. And I remember being 6 years old and Brian like, do what's, and I'd be like, Maria, get in the car. I remember doing that at like 6 years old, and they would all laugh. And that's why I'm like thinking like, wow, I literally just never stopped doing that.
You found the internet after that. It was like ever since.
I haven't grown at all.
It's working for you. It works.
Yeah. It works.
It works. You've been doing voices that long, man. I love that.
I guess.
My first TV job ever was Staten Island Community Television, actually.
Really?
I was there 1 year, really early on, and doing this stuff, trying to do this stuff. And I'll never forget, I had a coworker that literally, not doing a joke, would say, "You guys want to get Dunkin' douchebags?" And he wasn't saying, like, he wasn't trying to be funny. It's what he called Dunkin' Donuts. And so that's the thing about Staten Island, like, real cliche is like,
of course.
Where I'm from, people were like that, but it's like another layer of that ridiculousness.
It's I always say like when we were living here, I noticed it more because I'd go home and I just when you're not getting numb to it all the time, you forget about it. So like when we lived in LA and then we'd go to like this bagel place by my parents' house, and it was like seeing a Dalmatian at a firehouse. It was like, this is what you go to New York City.
Yeah.
I would like look at her. I'm like, do you hear this guy behind us?
Yeah.
Just to love the way that they would order bagels, the way that he would like, how you doing, honey? Like, yeah, the guy told me to come to my house. She never came. I gave him $250s, arguing with me, and then just sitting there. Everyone can hear their conversations. I'm just like making notes in my phone of shit he said. So
that's great.
It really is just like a different world. I've always believed that there were the people that were so funny. And like you don't need to be there to get it. You really don't. Like I find Bill Engvall is one of the greatest comedians. He has the Stupid People is one of the greatest bits of comedy ever made, and it's super Southern. Yeah, but it's hysterical and everybody can relate to it. So I tell it through the lens of someone from where we're from, but I think the content is deeper, hopefully.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I tell myself.
It's evergreen and relatable, and also you can't fight. Like I like voices in comedy. It's something to think about that I think watching you. I see it come out where like you're Staten Island when you have to be. You're not in certain parts of your stand up that I've seen. I mean, but like it's amazing because it's who you are. It's your voice. It's what made you. Don't resist it. I love it.
No, I'm not resisting it.
I'm making sure. I don't think you are, but like
no,
I'm saying I think voicing in comedy is so interesting. Like you just said, his bit, like that's what stands out. People remember the voicing, like how you sound, the
sure.
voices
Yeah,
you
very
do,
true.
the impressions.
Yeah.
They've been doing this since you were 7. That is what stands out about it. Like I was just in here with someone before who said she was an actor in like the 90s, said that she used to train. It was her voice to not sound Italian for like back then. Like it was like, not a thing. And then it was a girl who played Christopher's girlfriend on The Sopranos. A lot of Sopranos references so far in this episode.
Yeah, of course.
And then she got Sopranos, and they're like, go reverse all that work you did. It's like,
Wow.
But I guess I'm getting philosophical about like, don't fight. We all like just want to be accepted and loved and relate to people. And if we fight it as performers, like you can kind of try and be something you're not. I think it's when you embrace who you are. It's the best stuff.
I think that's my stupid ego probably, or insecurity, or whatever it is, to be like, as soon as that's kind of why I feel like I popped off on YouTube really early. And if I would have just stayed the course and done a part 2 or a part 3 of what was already working, and then maybe grown quicker, I'm sorry, or grown doing that, and then I would have been able to branch out. Maybe took a little longer, but like I was always afraid of being Jaleel White and being like, that's all you are.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to do so many other things. I wanted to make music. I wanted to act. I wanted to, tell other stories of other points of view.
Yeah.
And it was just like, put the wig back on. Do that woman from Staten Island again. And so like that's a part of me that I'm always, I guess, insecure about. That I always feel like that's coming back. Like, you're nothing. You're just an Italian kid from Staten Island. That's all you'll ever be.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I feel like I'm not fighting it, and I have obviously, embraced that, and I'm so grateful for everything that's given me. But I think that's where that little
I get that
insecurity comes from.
It's also for being a creator and being public about it so long. You remember, like, we evolve as we get older, and you remember those insecurities from that time in a way too. I'm the same way with my old.
Sure.
Dude, I did Jersey Shore spoofs back then. I'm from Jersey. I resent that show. My most viral clip on YouTube ever is me auditioning for season 2. I hate that I did that, but I love that. But I have to accept that it's part of this.
Yeah,
it's all
100%.
Like, but literally, it's like I hated that cast because it wasn't like I didn't want that to be ever. I still get it today. Now I do jokes about it on stage. So I'm like, whatever. People know it. Like I don't. I'm not so.
I would, but no one's giving you that shit though.
No, but I say I'm from Jersey and I joke about like the hair and stuff. But I'm
What
saying,
part
like,
of Jersey are you from?
North, right by the city, Hillsdale, right by Paramus. Oh, by the GW.
Yeah, that's also a different part of Jersey.
It is. Well, Sopranos was filmed
For
off from
sure,
where I'm
for
from,
sure.
yeah.
But like that's why I always thought Jersey Shore was funny in like South Park, making fun of Jersey.
Yeah.
Because my cousin's from Manalapan.
Yeah.
So like when I hung out with him, I was like, this kid's a fucking dork.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't like Guido. He played soccer and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
who is this? I felt like I was like, I was like in the rough neighborhood.
Dude. Well, the resentment with that show was most of them weren't from there. So like all of us from Jersey were like, these guys are Rhode Island and New York.
Yeah, I think Sammy was Hazlitt.
Oh, I went to college with her too.
Is that it?
It was all. Yeah, she went to college.
I don't think
too.
anybody else from Jersey.
Yeah, that was it, and she left too. But they put for a while. I railed against that stereotype, even though I like spoofed it and used it for my like creative world.
Yeah.
So it's interesting though when you're younger though, and it's interesting now thinking about like the times we're in, like having like my kids like putting stuff out there, like, and you don't want to be put in a box. Like it's this world now. Like you can get stuck. You can feel you get stuck being one thing.
I mean, you certainly could, and I'm grateful that like that didn't happen for me. Like, some of my biggest successes had nothing to do with being Italian or from Staten Island, which I celebrate. But then I always obviously like if I'm ever introducing people to stuff or I'm sending someone 5 minutes of something. I mean, I feel like that's probably what I'd tell.
Yeah,
that's like my first elevator pitch.
Totally.
I guess.
I got more Italian here in California. Like I feel like it comes out more.
Bro, that's so funny that you say that because that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
So like again, I never felt like one of the gabagools from Staten Island. And then when we moved here, I was like, oh, you can't get boar's head cold cuts everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't get thin chicken cutlets.
Yeah.
It was just little things that we thought were normal. She went to a place on Melrose. She got so ripped off. It was like $30 for like a pound of chicken cutlets our first week there.
God.
She was like, the guy was so confused, didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And that's when I like started to feel like more Italian than ever. And that's when I started to really, that came out in my comedy more because I was like, here, I don't know. I feel like Joe Pesci in My Cousin Vinny.
Exactly.
And
Fish out of water.
That definitely happens here though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, we grew up, and I hate to be self-righteous, but it is a certain Northeast, like the quality of life and the things you want are all, it's a style of living that's just it's a well-oiled machine everywhere. Like I just went home for Christmas I went to a bakery in North Jersey. I walked in. I got like a stromboli that was just warm while they were like I was getting bread.
Oh yeah.
It was better than any piece of stromboli pizza product here
100%.
ever, and they weren't even thinking about it. It's like just that the barrier to entry is so much higher.
Oh yeah.
Because of where everybody's from, and that's why I'm glad you moved back. Like you have like Staten Island has some of the best food ever, Italian food, best.
It really does.
So
it really does.
It gets a bad rep, like for other stuff. It's the best Italian food. Some of the best Italian restaurants are on Staten Island. I'll say it.
I don't know anyone who gives Staten Island a bad reputation that's not because of the politics. That's the only reason. Because they love Trump.
Yeah.
It's extremely conservative. Don't get me wrong. I can't buy our organic espresso beans there, which is extremely just like, what year are we living in? But like if you want to go bar for bar, slice versus, I'll put some of my places on Staten Island versus anything.
Yeah.
Versus anything. What are we talking about? It's the same immigrants.
Yeah.
It's the same Italian, like actual Italians live there. It's not just like, not just Tony Soprano walking around. There's people with Italian accents making food there.
Yeah.
Like,
there was a place on Staten Island that was all Nona's. I don't know if it's still open. It's still open?
Enoteca Maria, right next to the St. George Theater, which I do every year.
Yeah. I love that part of Staten Island. I love that you do St. George Theater, one of the coolest theaters in New York.
Incredible.
I actually love the culture there because I worked there for a year, and I used to, I mean, no disrespect, I used to use a punchline growing up in Jersey. We would Staten Island, go bring your trash to Staten, whatever.
Yeah.
But that year I worked there, I really like met families, shops. Like I loved. I did a segment in the St. George Theater like back then. It was like I don't know how many years ago, but that place is incredible.
It's incredible. They just redid it. It's gorgeous.
It must feel good for you now, though, to tie this to your career in stand up. Now, when you go to those hometown shows, you're selling out the biggest theater on the island. It's got to feel great to be the hometown guy.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm just so flattered and my anxiety is just like I hope that I can keep doing this. That's all I'm worried about. Like I can't enjoy anything.
You can't?
No.
Why in your mind do you think you can't keep doing this? As I see you kill it every time you do it. What's your problem? just this is therapy now. I'm just
It's interesting, dude, because I've lost it once and I had to regain everything again.
What happened?
So like when I was 19, that's when I was talking about earlier with like I was really ahead of everyone on YouTube. Yeah. I had a huge following, a local following from videos that I did. Mm-hmm. And I just did not, I wasn't smart enough to see where this was going. I was still really wanted to do traditional Hollywood, and like auditions and stuff. So I was like, I saw this like derisive way that Hollywood spoke about YouTube and content creators. You ever notice they created the word content to belittle what we're doing?
Yeah.
Because it's not what Brad Pitt's doing. That's art. You do content.
Right.
That's where that word came from. It was to separate us. So like when I noticed that, I was still like, this is what, 15 years ago. I really wanted to like be an actor or be, but I didn't have the balls to do stand up yet, and I just tried a bunch of different things. My try not to ramble, but like
you're good.
My thing is like instead of being 100% on one thing, I was always 20% on 5 things.
Yeah, I'm like that too, though.
And that kind of like messed me up, and I kind of I like walked away from YouTube. I got a manager, and she really wanted to get me on SNL.
Nice.
And I just like wasn't really willing to do what she asked of me. She wanted me to be like this improv UCB guy, which I'm just not. And then at the worst time, I was like going out, I was dating girls, just having the best time of my life. I kind of stopped doing it.
Yeah.
And then when I tried to like post again, I had nothing. Like
the algorithm.
I wasn't getting. This was before algorithms. This was before Instagram. This is like 2012, 11, 12, 13, when Instagram just started, but it wasn't videos yet. And like I had my little local following, like just wasn't there anymore. I wasn't getting recognized places. It was just dead.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where that fear probably comes from, because it happened before.
Well,
and like,
listen, I'm no example because I still have so many things I want to do, but let me let you in on a little secret that never goes away.
Of course. I know
sell
that.
out Madison Square Garden eventually.
When
you go star in your big movie, it doesn't go away.
Of course. Conan O'Brien talked about that. He said a young person asked him, when will I feel like secure and like that it can't be, it won't go away? And Conan said, I have some bad news for you. Yeah. Sebastian Maniscalco sells out Madison Square Garden like 6 days in a row. 2 shows, and he's like, is anybody coming?
Yeah.
He still is afraid.
Well, look, there is a validity though and humility to making sure you still have that in your brain, because it makes you perform better. Like there's a part of it it's weird. Like we drive ourselves crazy, but also like makes us do the job better.
Definitely.
But you got to be healthy about it because, like, F the old YouTube, dude. You're doing great.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I'm
no,
here to tell you.
I'm getting there.
You're good.
No, I'm getting there.
You're good, bro. I'm like, I don't know why I'm getting all, like, fatherly today with you. I'm like, listen, Eric, you got this, bro. Dude.
We'll see.
You're doing great.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just the fact that I was, the fact that, like, okay, this is not a healthy thing I've been telling myself lately, which is, like, when I get in my head, but, like, so... You ever do the thing where, like, you can compare yourself to your heroes at what age they achieve something?
Once a week.
Everybody.
I hate it.
Right?
I can't stop doing it.
I just saw a great comedian in New York actually just do a great bit about that.
That's so funny.
But I'm always like, okay, how old was this person when they got their first special? Okay, and then I started to think, like, what is making it? Because how many parables and movies do you have to see to know money and fame will make you happy?
Right.
We all believe that deep down, but we still only care about making it. When I know money's not going to make me happier.
Right.
The day, like, what is making it? The day I told her she could quit her job, I felt like
that's it.
That's making it.
Yeah.
I wanted her on the road with me. I didn't want, and I just wanted, and that was it. Like,
yeah.
And from this point now, if I made what I make now to $100 million, I say to her all the time, like, I'd still be making you this iced latte. We'd still be watching on the couch, watching The Price is Right. Exactly. What would change? It'd be a fancier couch.
Yeah.
What the hell? What are we doing?
Right.
Like, and plus, like, my shitty Mitsubishi Endeavor that I inherited from my parents with the check engine light permanently on to our nicer cars now.
Yeah.
We're not driving a Ferrari, but that jump, that's it. Like, it doesn't get better. It won't increase more than that.
Right.
I'm not going to get a Bugatti and think, well, now I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like, it already happened for most of us.
Yeah.
Like, if you can pay your bills and you can afford to eat, it doesn't really. They've done studies on this. The graph doesn't increase. You don't get happier.
I love the other perspective now because you're only going to do better, and it's like that is the secret. When I've met so many successful people who are, if they're in touch with this, they're as normal as we're talking now, and if they're not, they're jerks because they're not happy.
They're trying to fill something.
You're trying to fill something. So, and also, dude, when you fill your cup up with family, you're newly married. That stuff, at least I've learned. And look, I'm no expert here, but like that stuff is so essential. The balance of it, both of it, is so essential.
Dude, that's been like. What's weird is everyone knows this.
Yeah, why? What are we doing?
Everyone knows this. And then the next day, they're like, all right, how do I get fame and money to make me happy?
Yeah.
We all know this. I just learned about this. Harvard did a 70-year study. I don't know if you've ever heard about it. So you can Google it. This is not, now I'm an absolute moron and I can't give you facts because I'm dumb, but just Google Harvard 70-year study on happiness. They studied like 700 men for 70 years. And with just obvious results, it's relationships.
Yeah.
That's it. Period.
Wow.
Like, money does not make you happier. Fame doesn't make you happier. Whatever you think, that car, that job, whatever you think, it's nothing. It's close relationships with people.
Yeah.
Period. This is not me. This is Harvard University over 7 decades.
Yeah.
So, like, we all know that. And then we're still going to try to impress each other with our sneakers tomorrow.
It's crazy.
Which is insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, we all know this is not the answer.
Well, I guess it goes down to like the filling a void, the inner work that you got to do to figure out why you're filling it. Why do you want to?
That's what nobody. And I think that I walked through that valley of hell. Like, I've been to therapy. I've done really difficult mental work, and I always say to people too, like, if you want to be successful, it takes this: be 27. Tell all your friends who are going to a bachelor party, I have no money to go. Yeah. Feel that embarrassment.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you can get through that, you can be whatever you want.
Well,
that's what everybody won't do.
Yeah.
They are afraid. I didn't go on either one of my brother's bachelor parties. I remember I was at a party and someone was like, "What are you doing? Eric, where are you working now?" And I was like,
"Got nothing."
I got nothing.
Yeah,
and I was 27.
Yeah.
26, 27. And that humiliation, I didn't really care because I feel like I'm a pretty confident person, but like most people just don't want to feel that.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the key to success, is just feeling uncomfortable, going through what's uncomfortable.
Well, that's why I respect your career trajectory too, from all the internet stuff to stand up and being a successful stand up, because it is the hardest valley in this business. And I romanticize stand up a lot, but it's a very hard transition, and then also you don't make money and you don't do well for a long time. So the fact you're making a full-time living, you're forwarding your life with your wife, that is the dream. You're doing the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I did it already.
You just the things around it can get nicer as it goes. You know what I mean? Like,
of course,
it could be like I was just telling you the story on the road. Like things can be a little bit more like nicer about it. I guess like imagine like Seinfeld and those guys, like they get whatever they want anywhere they go.
Oh yeah,
sure. But at least you're in touch with the right stuff about the perspective, and hold on to that perspective, because in this business, we are force fed to think it's not that. We're all sold this idea that like work, get famous, get rich, like do the thing and abandon everything. Like don't worry about anybody else. Like the old tropes about like dads or husbands and like just kind of I want to be in my kids' lives and also make people laugh and entertain people. And why can't we just do both? You can. Yeah. But culture for so long has just been like. And the industry doesn't. It's worse for women. They don't respect this stuff. They respect the car and the numbers. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's so weird. It's so dumb.
That's going away.
It is. It's shifting, right?
Going away. People are so everyone's so.
Well, everyone's miserable.
Especially like millennials. Everybody's just tired of this shit. Like I can't just live, and that's why I think that other people like really love European countries. Yeah. It's because they just. I remember reading something, a Spotify employee, because my manager's having my booking agent's having a baby, probably like today or anything.
Wow.
And he was talking about, his paternity leave, and I was like, yo, in Spotify in Sweden gives the dad a year off.
Wow. Which is so great for the family.
Like, what does that say about America?
Yeah.
That we don't value that.
We don't.
That's terrible.
Well, it's just go here. Have you been to Italy?
I just went in last summer.
How was it?
It was insane. It was amazing.
It's the best. Your family there still, too? Or?
Somewhere. My mom wanted me to knock on an aunt's door. I'm like, I've never met this woman. You're insane.
Yeah.
I joke about it in my act as if it was like terrible, because I feel like it's funnier to go at that direction.
Yeah.
Just feeling like I'm such an American, like I missed all the things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was incredible, man. It was amazing.
Well, I say that because like when you're there and you see how Italians and they would say they want to come to America, but like they always say like Italians work to live, but
100%.
We live to work. Like it's like we only in America, and you don't. And I remember I lived there for a semester. You just see like the zest for life is just a different. What's important is the food, the people, the family. Also, you're talking about the community relationships, 70 years. You know, the Blue Zones. Have you heard of Blue Zones? Yeah. So, like, Italy, it's all about community, food.
Right. There's one in California.
Yeah, let's go there. What are we doing here?
But
this is the worst.
Yeah, dude, that's so true. Like, I always, my uncle is a doctor, and whenever I would, like, hear people say they wanted to become doctors, I would be like, do you want to be a doctor or you want to make a lot of money? That's mostly what they're saying. Yeah. My son's going to be a doctor. Well, because you want to tell people my son makes a lot of money.
Right. It's for you.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's money. And then, like, I have a friend who was a surgeon. I've never seen him again.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you're
so what kind of life is that? Yeah. To, like, literally live in medical school for don't see anyone ever, and then you're just working 80 hours a week. Like, I don't even know what to tell. Like, there's no... Why are we still preaching as if that's what you should want?
It's a I think like men too, we're wired. It's a providing thing, and we're wired. Think of like the evolution of the man brain.
Of course, yeah.
And maybe also why you said like I can never be happy. Like I keep wanting to know what's next. In a way, like hundreds of years ago, the D'Alessandros were like, "What's next? What's next? We do this. We do this." In a way, it's in there. I'm not making excuses for men, but like. There is a wiring of we are fixers, we're providers, we want to do.
You think that's it? But I think
it's a part of it, maybe in there. What do you think? No.
It depends. Definitely to provide. Definitely to protect.
But also be busy, like working, productive.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, probably. But I feel like that has to be a cultural thing.
You think?
It has to be. Like
Italians. The field workers in Italy back in the day.
I don't know, man. Like you said, I think Italians figured it out. They have lunch for 2 hours. We had this wonderful guy who picked us up. He drove us to Sorrento. I think was it Sorrento, and he picked us up. He was a little late. He was so apologetic, and he took his time. He bought us espresso. He gave us. It was just like he wasn't like this. I gotta go. It was more of just like showing him it's like he seemed to have figured it out. It wasn't this like. this rat race. I feel
Yeah.
like that has to be an American thing. I don't know, but I feel like it has to be an American thing. And when I see my brothers doing this shit, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Why are you doing this?
It's tough for our business too because you have to be a hustler, and I feel like very much because of where we're from, we are in our field. But I really resist the American. Like I go very times sometimes, and then people get mad at me where I'm like, oh, it's we stopped at this deli, and I got to get to the show, but and like that's also then you're like not. It's a fine line, I guess. In our
Dude,
business.
I'm the most impatient person there is.
You have to do both.
I so envy like the old. I guess it's just always because I've always wanted to be that. But like, imagine being Adam Sandler or somebody who made movies in the 90s or the early 2000s. They don't need to be on social media.
Yeah,
that is my dream. It is
me too.
Relentless.
I know.
It is relentless. Like imagine not needing an Instagram. If I didn't have an Instagram, I wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
No one would have any. No one would have any idea what I was doing. They wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't be missed.
Right, dude. I've said this to actors. One actor I interviewed once, and I said you're the last job where like if you do big enough movies, and this guy was pretty big, like TV guy. Like you don't need to work that because you're just public enough.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this earlier. Like you're so successful because of your content. That word you love. Let's just we're gonna rebrand you today. Eric does mini movies. He doesn't do content. He does mini movies.
I know what I am.
Yeah, but I'm saying it is. It's a double-edged sword because you're growing. You've constantly grown. Like your videos do great. They're really funny, and you have to kind of feed the beast now in this climate we're in. I mean, a stand-up last night made a great observation. Actually, she was like, it was a small show. She's like, I don't need you guys. She's like, we're filming this. I'm gonna cut it up. I'm gonna add laughs. Like, I don't even need you to be here. Like the way this business is. But she was trolling a little bit.
Yeah,
she was like, whatever.
You.
This audience doesn't even matter. It's about me growing online, right? Like, she was kind of calling out the stand-up is kind of shifted a little too.
Yeah.
I'm old school and old soul about show business, though. I think it all still matters. Like you have a classiness on stage and in your content that is not always there that makes you grow. Also, like we bring stuff to it that maybe you don't even realize because we just feel like we're a cog in the system a little bit.
Maybe, yeah. Stand up is also this beautiful thing that I'm so grateful for because I don't make money off social media. I get brand deals every once in a while, but like it's nothing. I don't make any.
People don't realize.
They think that like you just make. I mean, like I do. I forget. I will get paid. Like if a video goes viral on TikTok, it's in a month. It's like $2,000. It's nothing.
Yeah.
But you have to make. You have to get hundreds and hundreds of millions of views to make like, any significant money on TikTok. But like really stand up. That's why I kind of really fell in love with stand up and felt like wow, maybe this is really what I'm supposed to be doing. Because number one, it's the only thing that's ever worked this consistently, and two, it's like. This is something that is undeniably comedy writing and art and whatever. Like when I could have done just my shows where, it was people who know me from Instagram and then like that's it. But it meant I'm such a huge fan my whole life that like I had to go in front of where no one knew me.
Right.
Like I love when I do spots in the city and no one knows who I am. And I'm like, all right, that means that was working.
Yeah.
And, when I lived in Austin was... I look back at that time in my life, man. I was performing in front of like, I was cool with like all the Kill Tony guys and Brian Redband and all them, and their audiences despised me, fucking despised me. So I really had to work hard at getting laughs.
Yeah,
and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah,
because like now I feel like I gained a skill. It wasn't an algorithm. It wasn't like a luck of the day I posted. It was like I got my ass killed there.
Yeah.
I'd go home with her. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I sat in my office and I just wrote.
Nice.
And then I would get people to respond to it. So like, there's always this thing, but I do feel like stand up is like this one true.
Totally.
Yeah. If you take away technology, we could still do it.
Exactly. And you have to chisel at it, and everybody at every level goes through that and still does every day. I mean, I've talked to the biggest killers in the world that still eat it and have to work at it. And that's what I love about the humility of it. I also love that, like, there's a certain fight mentality to it that people don't talk about a lot, where it's like you have to fight through those reps. They're just call them reps. I'm in the rep phase in LA. LA's like that a lot of the time. Like you have to just do spots, do reps, just keep. This crowd was this way, this crowd was that. but you're in the gym, and it's so rewarding when you figure it out, and then you go do your shows where you sell out, and you're killing because you know it's vetted. You've worked at it with people who don't like you or know you or whatever it is. You know,
absolutely.
It makes it easier when you have like a good crowd that loves you. You're like, oh wow,
dude,
I'm in the bag.
That's not even work.
Yeah, that's
like, where you make the real money. That's like not even the work.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the shit that like I did where no one left, and I like figured out why, and then when I have shows that are sold out, I'm just like. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I was a little more nervous because I do better when I'm nervous.
You do?
Yeah. And like sometimes I'm just too relaxed. They call me and I forget I have to run out. Like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude, that's definitely especially going from Staten Island, going to the Manhattan and having to fucking.
It's the only problem with your new move is you're going like to clubs in New York and you got to get over that $50 bridge or whatever.
Yeah. It's been a breeze.
Oh, good.
Because at night you could park.
Yeah.
So like if during the day it would suck, but they're doing this new tax in New York.
Of course they are.
Just going into the city you get charged. They're such pieces of shit.
I'm the same with the nights here, which is fun. Like I put my kids to bed and then I go to the clubs. And it's
great.
Fun to do. Like again, talking about the kind of filling up both cups. You do a balance. You figure out a mix
for sure,
where
man.
you get both things. I do want to talk. So we're talking about your videos too and your stand up. I want to talk about your stand up more, but I do want to tell you to your face because I've commented on your page. Your music parodies like my favorite parodies on the internet, dude.
Oh, thank you.
They're so funny. The Zillow one, the stuff that like they're SNL quality.
Oh, thank you, dude.
Like speaking of doing SNL or not, you're doing it with your audience and people online. You're doing the thing. I love them. I love music parodies so much.
Oh, thank you.
It's my favorite genre, dude.
I love doing them too.
You're killing those.
It's because I secretly wish I was a musician. That's why.
Me too. I'm a drummer actually. So
nice. I play the guitar.
Yeah. So, but you do those a lot. I feel like every couple. Weeks
I try to.
Maybe,
yeah.
They're really good, dude.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, the tipping one just started to hit a little pretty well.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I have so many more I want to do. Those just take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I want to get better with like I never know if I should like keep them at a minute because everybody's attention span's so shit, or if I should make a full song. Like I've done full songs before, and then I looked back. I'm like, I don't know if that was worth all that effort. Because people are like put this on Spotify, and
you
like
can do that.
I could. I probably will. Yeah.
Do you do those on stage ever? Music?
I have. I don't know if you've ever seen. I have a special on YouTube.
Yes,
too.
we're gonna talk about.
You guys can check that out. So I still do it on stage because I feel like people like it. If you've never seen me before, I like doing it. But I do one. It's if Drake was a.
That's right.
A flight attendant.
Yeah.
Or if he did the safety speech for planes, basically. But
I could see you doing more music on stage.
I know.
Too.
I want to. The only thing holding me back is sound checks. I hate having to get there early and then cue the guy and like you're really supposed to bring your own like rig.
Yeah.
And your own like Bo Burnham would bring like a crew.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable. First of all, if I'm going to Vancouver, I don't want to have to check a guitar or a keyboard. It's just pure laziness. Like
that's funny.
I should write like more electronic beats. I should make more like shit like that. But
you do tracks it's a little bit easier. Tracks
yeah, I mean, I made the Drake beat. I like making music. I can totally do it. I've been putting that off forever. I'm gonna gonna do it. Yeah, it's part of my show too. I want to add more.
Totally, I could see that. I forgot about the Drake thing, but yeah, it's a part of you that I love that I'm just want to shout out because
thank you, man.
You can do more of it, and this is what's fun about being performers. That speaking of your thing earlier about being in a box, like there's no boxes anymore. You're entertaining, people like it. Like there's no, and you don't need anybody. I love that in this business now. Like you have a good following, you can sell tickets.
Yeah,
you don't need like the old Hollywood idea you had. You don't need.
No, man.
There's that you don't like. There used to be this old trope about all this stuff. Like you go do this thing, and then you get on the TV show, and you do this.
The only thing that we still can't beat is the monster power of it all.
Yeah.
Of like, they have the power to just everyone to know about something tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we just like there's a mirror image of me on TikTok. I'm sure. There's a stand-up comedian at my level selling the same amount of tickets, same following, and there's probably 1,000 of them, and I'll never know who they are. Mm-hmm. That's like
the silos, you mean?
Yeah, like why is that? We were coming home. I actually had a gig last weekend, and I was driving home with her and my manager and his girl, and I was saying, there's 4 of us. I bet you there's someone each of us would be excited to see out in the world, and none of us would know who that was.
Yeah.
That's never happened in the history of the world.
Yeah.
It would always be like, oh, I know that guy, because I'm not a Kim Kardashian fan, but I know who she is.
Yeah.
Right? Or like Tony Hawk or Tiger Woods. We all know these people, even if you're not a fan of them, right? But now it's like, I know that, oh, that's a YouTuber.
Right.
I never, none of your friends know who it is.
Right.
Like, I don't know if it's great. And I'm not saying that I need more attention. I just feel like movies used to mean more.
Right.
Because people, they impacted culture. They like meant something.
Yeah.
Or like when an album dropped, it meant more.
Yeah.
And like even the almighty Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like I haven't heard any of her new songs.
Yeah.
Like you have to be kind of like in your own. I miss communal experiences, I guess.
Well, you want to be healthy. You want the community. You talked about having the community around
Yeah.
you, and that's what makes people happy. It is going away, and maybe it is making us like we're all kind of more isolated in our silos, right? Like we want to do this thing. It's weird. It's out of home. It's not in home. It's like basically like the ad speak, like out of home advertising, in home.
My mom had a great like metaphor she would use when my family was very close. It was a very small house growing up. There's 4 children. And when I was in the 8th grade, they could finally afford to put an extension on our house.
Nice.
So we all got our own bedrooms. My brother was he was like 21 when it happened. But she was like, I hate that you all just close your doors and you're gone.
Right. It's that.
Like now it's like we used to hang out in the kitchen or we'd always be on top of each other. It seemed miserable at the time, but now you all go into your own little worlds and I don't see anyone anymore. And you have your TV, you have your computer, you do this, you do that. And I always remember that it impacted me because I was like, she's right about that. And like, it's certainly cooler and more convenient now, but is it better?
Well, it ties to the convenience and the comfort thing we were saying earlier. It's like it's when you have a culture that's only for convenience that long, it whittles into this community. No one's looking at each other, talking to each other. And as a dad now, we were bad in the beginning. You have young kids, you're just trying to like survive. But we actually just recently, it's funny you're saying this, consciously like took away screens most of the week. No, because they both have iPads. My 1-year-old knows how to use an iPad. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we were like, this is too much. Now, like we make a point to play. I'm like so old school Italian about the dinner. I'm like, you got to have a dinner at the table.
Yeah.
And we're still not always good about it, but like you grew up with that. Like you need to have that.
Man.
But it's up to us. It's like our generation is this generation that's close to how it once. Like it's not to like hold this weird. They're like I remember not having a cell phone. Like there's this like weird gap with our generation where we're the only ones that understand before and then after. I mean, you're younger than me though, but still, you kind of remember.
No, of course, dude.
Like we're the ones. We have to teach our kids. Like
I think everybody thinks their childhood was better. Everybody thinks that, but I think if you look at the research, there's a new book called The Anxious Generation.
Yeah, dude.
Which this is not our opinions. This is science. This
Yeah.
is real. This is happening. The children are more anxious. They are more isolated. They're having less relationships with each other. There's less sex drive. There's less want for children. There's less everything.
Yeah, well, again, talking about making money is when like make your money survive. Like
there's also this like it gets kind of technical, but like I saw a few TikToks on this like finance guy. We used to sort of distribute the wealth to the next generation. Now we've kind of we're giving it to the older generation. It's kind of this weird thing where like I'm sure you've heard, but housing, buying a house now is impossible.
Yeah.
And boomers, like my parents, are being rewarded for how, they walk around acting like they made like they invested in Apple before.
Right.
My house. Well, that's not, you didn't do that.
It's timing.
Yeah, you just were born at the right time.
Yeah.
Like my dad acts like he did something. It's like you didn't do anything. You didn't see Elon and was like, I like this guy. I'm gonna invest in this Tesla.
Yeah.
They didn't do that.
Property on Staten Island's gonna explode. I know it. I'm the first guy.
Exactly.
I'm the first guy.
Yeah. So like, you have to work longer now to make what you used to make, and it's all this horrible shit that's happening. It's just. So many things at once are happening.
Coming to a head, yeah. But it is true, and I've talked about this with my buddies from even where I'm from, because our county in Jersey is like insanely expensive now. But
it's
my parents
everywhere,
went there in the 80s.
Of course.
And just was where they could afford, and it wasn't like that now. And even for them, if they wanted to sell. But like, I was arguing with my buddies a lot because they claim that like we grew up entitled and hoity-toity. And I was like, guys, our town is like that now. Because property went up.
Also, like your parents' fault. Like our parents who want us, what's wrong with these kids? It's like, you raised us.
Yeah.
You wrote Britney in script on her room and told her she was perfect and no guy was worthy of her attention. You did this. Well, you gave my mom put a refrigerator in my room when I was a freshman in high school. So I don't want to go out there. my dad, if you wanted to feel up a girl, he had to do it in like a park or in the back of a car. I had my own bedroom where like we had house parties. I don't think house parties were big in the 70s.
No, well, they were without parents.
Yeah, but like parents knew they were going on. Like
Yeah,
Staten Island, like I knew. People always had places to go. There was like this solace of someone's home.
You going to Toad Hill? Was that what it was it called?
Yeah, Toad Hill. I've been at parties at Toad Hill.
I know what the parties are at. Right?
They made the Nest way too cool with Wi-Fi, and then were shocked the kids didn't want to leave.
Yeah,
it's like, well, this is your doing.
It's a comfort thing too,
of course.
And you'll see, like as a parent, like I dip in the old school, and it's so fun. Like I was just playing basketball with my daughter, and I just kept stuffing her, and my wife's like, "Let her win." I was like, "She's gonna learn."
Yeah,
maybe I go too far the other way though.
Yeah,
because especially in LA, I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna make every basket, everybody's a winner." No. I'm 6'1" and you're 3 feet, and this is what happens when you play with someone like me.
I gotta say, dude, like I gotta give it to well, Italian American families can be bad too. But Sebastian has a great bit about how, why is everybody's kid fantastic? When I was a kid, I played basketball, I sucked, and my dad said, "You suck. Get off the court." Exactly. So like now, I do believe that is a weird thing. Like my mom was like, "You're not, why are you special?"
Yeah.
Well, why? I'm like, well, why did this happen to me? Why not you?
Right.
And I feel like that. Since when did that become abuse? Like, I don't think that's that extreme.
No.
Yeah, beating your kids and all that other shit, whatever. But I'm talking about just like telling them they're not God's gift to the earth and everything they do isn't special. I don't think that's abuse. I think that's just reality.
It's reality, and it sets. And this is my biggest bone to pick when I get into it with my wife, because we both want the same thing, but it does get tougher when you make little cute things you love so much.
I do it. I'm such a hypocrite.
And
I
I'm
totally
so bad.
understand.
Like girls, I'm like I spoil them, and it's like I see myself being like, well, wait a second. So I think it gets. You step up to the plate, and it's condition and it's comfortability. 100%. And if I could afford this thing for them, and dude, I've been on the road a bunch this month. I've come back every trip with something from a different state. Here you go. And also, I resent a little bit that I'm here. I'm like, you're born in New York. Don't forget, there's an I Love New York bear. Like you need another one. But you kind of you have to pick and choose. And at least I'm self-righteous about where we're from. At least we're connected to that salt of the earth. And you live there now again, which is great for your kids, honestly, where you have that so close.
Yeah.
You're like, no, this is you're not good at basketball, and that's okay. Because they're going to enter the world. I mean, look, you're successful in a way because you grew up that way. If you were told you were perfect, maybe you wouldn't be working so hard.
Absolutely not.
I don't know.
But listen, I totally understand. My niece just got an iPad for her 8th birthday, and her sister was sad and crying because she didn't get one. And I was like, we have an old iPad we can give her.
Yeah, right.
And that's not the answer.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's wrong. But I was thinking we can give her one. Like, should I buy her one? Which is not the right thing to do.
When you have kids crying, it's also like laziness on the parents' part. And I'm guilty of this too, where you're freaking out. The one solution, you get lazy with the job.
100%.
You're like, you know what? I shouldn't be giving her candy, but I'm done with this meltdown.
Yeah.
And then I think our parents had no choice early on, back in the day. There were maybe less choices.
Well, we just got hit. So that was it.
Yeah, there was no candy because it was the fist. It was the backhand.
You want candy now? Oh my God, forget it, bro.
Dude.
Yeah.
So wait, you have sisters, right?
I have one sister.
Oh, you have one sister and then 2 brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. And what's your dad do for a living? Your mom
you could literally guess. If you is one of 5 things that a dad could possibly do.
On Staten Island? Is it specific to Staten Island? Construction.
Brooklyn, Staten Island. He did construction. But he was a cop.
Okay, close.
Cop and then in construction on the side, and then when he retired, more construction.
I relate deeply to your
just like
journey.
the Bible says he must do.
Married Italian girl, of course. Does he like drinking? Yeah, all the cliches.
My dad doesn't drink.
That's different.
Actually, he'll have a beer.
Different
Actually,
for the Irish.
He did get drunk at our wedding.
That's fun.
But that's a wedding. But no, he later on in life, in his 60s, he'd start having we have obviously pizza Fridays, and he would have a beer with pizza. But
beer is
not
great,
a big
man.
drinker. I never saw him drink growing up.
I joke because my grandfather on my Irish side was a cop in New York, also drinker. All the cliches of being Irish.
My dad's family, who's more Irish, they drink.
Is he still a cop?
No, he retired 20 years ago.
Was he on Staten Island or the city?
He was in Brooklyn South.
Wow.
6-8. Shout out to the 6-8 precinct.
How many times did your dad quote the movie Serpico in your life, or did he not? You know that movie, Pacino?
I don't know if he loved Serpico. He would always.
It's about an honest cop in New York City in the 70s.
My dad, I shit on my dad a lot, but he really kept it real. Like, my dad was not a cop. He wanted to be. He's a great drummer. My brother's a drummer as well.
Nice.
He had long hair when he was like in high school. He was like a hippie. He loved like he tells me he doesn't do drugs. He definitely did drugs. But like that's who my dad really is. And I feel like he had a kid and the fear got to him, so he became a cop so he can get benefits.
Yeah, it's a good job.
Yeah,
it's
it wasn't like
noble.
he was like, I'm gonna solve this. I'm gonna crack this case right open. He didn't want to do that. He flipped out. My brother is a federal police officer.
Oh wow.
So it's a little better. But he flipped out when he wanted to be a NYPD. He was like,
really?
I fucking hate screaming at him. I hate it. You're not. You went to college. You're not doing this.
Wow.
It wasn't like me cop, son cop. Like,
Yeah.
We're not that family.
The federal side, is that the FBI or is it the federal level?
United States Park Police.
Oh, nice.
Which they do like the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
All the monuments in DC.
Sure. I know
all
them.
that shit.
They've yelled at me before filming things. I know those cops. It's funny though because you're kind of the outlier doing comedy, videos, stand up.
All my family wishes they could be me.
Oh yeah,
all of them.
Because you actually have the balls to do it. Are they?
Yes.
Is that why?
Yes. Absolutely.
And you're the youngest. You're like, I'm going to do it because none of you did.
You pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They'll act like they all were hams. They all were the class clowns of their classes. They all were, absolutely.
That's funny.
Every time I mention I have to do something, like, what? Like, should I do something? I'm like, what?
That's so Italian Northeast too. It's
bro.
Oh, you're doing a TV hit? Like, do they want to interview your mom?
Yeah. I'll be stuck on like I don't know. This hasn't happened in a while, but I'll be stuck on like a joke. My brother Brian is like, well, then maybe I could come in and like do a dance, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Yeah. So,
that's so true to family. It's like
100%. Yeah, and my family thinks that if I would have tried. Eric's doing it, but if I would have tried, which is just ridiculous.
You should do sometime, but it might like ruffle feathers. Is like you should bring someone out and give them a minute, just so they can feel how hard it is.
Yeah,
because you are so good because you make it look easy, and they know your personality. When we're great on stage, it's because we worked at it, and we're supposed to look like it's easy.
Of course, I'm pretending to be a confident stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
that's how good of an actor I am.
You're good. You're confident up there. You're having fun up there.
No, I'm kidding. Now I am.
Now you are.
The first couple years, I was pretending to be
a
stand-up comedian.
Yeah, but I am curious before I let you go. I do want to know, like, from the YouTube time, because I don't know this about you. We're newer friends. So I'm curious about the journey. You made an active choice, like, I'm just going to get on stage and start doing stand-up because people think I'm funny. Like,
so, like, yeah, like I said, I've always had too many dreams. I've always wanted to do too many things. And when I was a kid, I worshipped stand-ups. Like, I was that kid at Saturday afternoons. I would just watch Comedy Central half hour. They have just marathons of like Jim Brewer and random people, Joey Diaz back then.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Ellen DeGeneres' first stand-up. Huge fan of. Not her first, but her big, called The Beginning.
Yeah.
So I was a huge fan of stand-up, but I always wanted to be an actor. I always wanted to do a bunch of different things. And always wanted to try it out, but never had the balls. Then in 2009, I had like a pretty big video where I was making fun of these Sweet 16s on Staten Island. And that changed my life permanently. People still quote it to me. But that was 15 years ago. And like people from Jersey, Brooklyn, Queens, they all recognized me from that.
Wait, what was the big line you said in that? Was there one big quotable line?
Maybe.
I remember.
I'm not gonna say it. I don't know if maybe you never saw it. I don't know.
I feel like I did.
It's very typical. Like you mentioned community television, Staten Island community television.
Yeah.
When on Sundays and Wednesdays, I don't know if they do it anymore, but Sundays and Wednesdays on Staten Island community television, you'd turn on at a certain time. It'd be the Joey G show, and Joey G was who you hired to do your Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And he would just show Sweet 16s on this channel. So my friend would next tell me, he would chirp me with, like, yo, are you watching Joey G right now? I'm like, no, I'd put it on and there's me rapping an Eminem song to the camera.
Gosh.
So it was always just like this funny, very inside joke thing. So I recreated the Joey G show.
That's great.
And I made that. So I just never, I started writing stand-up when I was 19. I just never had the balls to do it. I just never did it. And then, I just tried a bunch of things for a long time. Stand-up was always in the back of my head, and I always saw that, like, Jamie Foxx, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, like, Martin Lawrence, these, my heroes, once they got good enough at stand-up, they started making movies.
Yep.
Which is really what I wanted to do.
Right.
So Martin Lawrence, all them, I noticed they just started doing movies. They could, once you get big enough at doing stand-up, you could do whatever you want. So I was like, what if I did that? And then, again, like I said, I kind of restarted my whole thing. I met her, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm done dating and doing all this other fun young people stuff. So I started hitting up open mics 10 years ago.
In New York City?
2014, yeah. Nice. In New York City.
Nice.
Hitting up open mics, trying to get there. Then just had like 4 years of just like floating.
Working it out, yeah.
Doing random shit. I was submitting a lot of self-tapes, doing a lot of trips out here for like pilot season. I had a manager. Nothing. I never got anything. I had one little role in a movie.
Nice.
But just like random, always like little distractions that would carry me for 6 months.
Yeah.
But then before I knew it, 5 years passed. And then in 2018, end of 2017, I was just like, all right, I'm just going. Yeah. I'm moving to LA. There's nothing else for me here. Yeah. So, and then when I moved to LA, that was when everything just changed, because I was like, I just posted online every single day.
Yeah.
Kind of built my hour that way.
Yeah.
Kind of built my first hour with the material that I wrote over that year. Then I started reaching out to like friends of mine that I knew had like businesses on Staten Island, because I'm like, I think I could. I was like, what if I try to like, because I barely had money for rent. I was just doing random jobs. I just mentioned on Vinny's podcast, actually, from the Jersey Shore.
Oh, nice.
That I did focus groups. I would literally go to like Studio City, and I would do like a focus group on companies and random shit. They give me like $200 like on a gift card, and I'd buy groceries with it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I think what if we like put a couple tickets on sale in Staten Island? I did like a show. Maybe we could try that.
Yeah.
Called a couple places. My friend was like, I don't think we could do that. My old college I was supposed to set it up at, that didn't work out. And then we tried this restaurant on Staten Island, and the guy was like, yeah, we could do that. And this ticket sold out fast.
Wow.
We did 3 of them. They all sold out.
Nice.
And then I did another bar on Staten Island. That sold out.
Nice.
Then I did this place in Jersey, and then it just kind of took off from there.
It's a crazy feeling when that happens, when like you produce your own show. You have, the demand was there though, and you start making money. Yeah. Like, do you remember that feeling? Like, that's still,
it was insane.
It's insane. It's awesome.
Absolutely insane. Because back then I was just thinking of like how much I needed to survive for a month.
Yeah.
And I made like 6 months rent, like, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't know, I never have to work again.
Yeah.
Like, I was so satisfied with that, and like the way that, you know, you become so jaded, and now I forget that even though I have 2,000 tickets on sale, I'm like, they didn't sell out instantly. Where back then it was like they sold out in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it was this cool thing, and like now I'm like so stressed about every time. But yeah, it's crazy how fast you get used to it.
Yeah, and the line, look, our perspective, that's why I liked what we talked about earlier. The perspective has to remain kind of about what's important, because
Absolutely.
The line will always change. You want to sell enough tickets, not enough views, not enough people. You bombed, you killed. Like, it's just, we picked a job where it's so up and down.
Oh my God, man.
But that's the fun of it, you know? And you're so good up there, dude. Keep going. Keep doing your thing.
Much,
it's so
Paul.
good to see.
Thank
and wait,
you.
I want to make sure people know about your special, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's called I Don't Understand. It's also going live on Hulu.
Oh, no way.
June 14th.
Congrats, dude. I know you got Hulu.
Thank you so much.
Whoa, Hulu guy.
So if you don't
want
to, I know how it's. I don't know if people want to find it on YouTube, but yeah, watch on your TV anyway. Don't fucking sit there like this, you know.
Yeah, go alone in your room because you're a kid of this generation.
Yeah.
YouTube, Eric. I'm really grateful you came on. We were talking about it, dude. You're a real one for coming. Welcome to California again. Welcome back.
Thank you, buddy.
Kill Your Show, your Netflix is a Joke show this week.
Thank you so much.
I could do this with you for hours. Come back soon. I
sir.
honestly feel guilty I didn't bring you like prosciutto or something. Like, I feel like
I should have brought you something from next time. I'll be more prepared. I'll bring something from.
No, next time I want you to come in a suit, and I want you to fly with a sandwich from Staten Island.
Dude, I have the perfect sandwich.
You already know. Check him out. Make sure everybody follows you too. It's just Eric.
Eric D'Alessandro and everything.
Okay.
BRICDALESSANDRO.
Sorry I made you do that. I'm sorry. That was tacky at the end there.
It's fine.
You know?
They're not going to spell it right anyway.
Whatever. You and me both do Italian last names. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. This episode was brought to you by Barefoot Dreams. Here they are. They're all over my studio. I got my candle going from them. I got my pillows for my guests. Did you see how comfy Eric was this episode? He was all snuggled up with that cozy chic fabric, and that's because these guys make some of the best snuggly, cozy products out there. They are celebrating their 30th anniversary right now, which is so cool. Because of the anniversary and because of the partnership with the Pop-Up Show, you can put the promo code POPUP15 at barefootdreams.com and get 15% off your first purchase. I think that's so cool. Go check them out, guys. I just got my wife some new stuff coming up. I think it's such a good gift. You could just give it away. give stuff away, hit up me up. Let me get you some stuff. They didn't tell me I could just give it away to listeners willy-nilly, but you know what? I want to spread the cozy, guys. That's how much I love these guys. Check them out everywhere. Get some cool stuff at barefootdreams.com. And thank you for watching and listening.